Good afternoon, students. In the previous class, we have discussed the demand curve, demand function, demand and demand function. We have discussed in the previous class. And the demand function, we know it is f of x is equal to y. X and y, these are two variables, and here x is independent variable and y is dependent on x. So we call it a dependent variable. So this is what we discussed in the previous class. Today we are going to discuss the demand curve from indifference curves and budget constraints. We are going to derive a demand curve from indifference curve. And budget constraint. Deriving a demand curve from indifference curve and budget constraint. We know what is indifference curve, and we have also discussed what is demand curve. And budget constraint is limitation of resources here. Demand curve I mentioned, and indifference curve that also we will mention and understand how this demand curve behaves. It is a graphical representation of a demand function. Demand curve means it is graphical representation of demand function. We call it as demand curve. And indifference curve is here indifference means the consumer's utility is indifferent. So what are the bundles, set of bundles he has, on all those bundles his utility remains same. And if we join those bundles, we will get a curve. That curve we will call it as indifference curve. So we know this, and we have already discussed what do you mean by indifference curve and the demand curve as well. Now using this indifference curve, how we can derive this demand curve. And in the previous class, when we were discussing demand function, I said x-axis and y-axis. Here I was taking the price. We have two variables x and y, x being a price and y being a quantity. I was taking the price in horizontal axis and the quantity y in vertical axis. Correct? And I also mentioned that in economics, if we are discussing demand curve, this is vice versa. This is in opposite order. Instead of taking price in x-axis, we will take the price in y-axis and quantity in x-axis. Correct? Now, as we are discussing demand curve, this price comes in y-axis and quantity comes in x-axis. Now, I will take the help of indifference curves to draw demand curve. How we can derive this demand curve using this indifference curve? For that, now we draw indifference curve here. This is demand curve. Now we have the given data here, that is M. M is income of the consumer, that is given. P1, as we know, in our market we have bundle here X1 and X2. Correct? We have a bundle which is a combination of two goods, that we know. Bundle is its combination of two goods which are available in our market. I mentioned as X1 and X2, and we know the price of these also. The price of X1 is equal to P1, I mentioned, and price of the X2 good is P2. Now we know the income of the consumer, that is, I'll keep as, we can give any number here. I'll just specify M. These are the given information. The income of the consumer we know, price of X good we know, X1 good, and price of X2 good we know. And what are these two goods we have? As we always take the examples and take the same, bananas and mangoes. So why? Because if we use these goods and discuss, when we go through the book reader, you will come with the same examples, so that it is easy for you to connect to the example discussed here when you are going through the reader. X-axis here will take banana, and y-axis it is mango. Here, the whatever we are taking, it is quantity, and that quantity gives us bundle. And as this is indifference curve, here the quantity of banana and quantity of mango in y-axis and quantity of banana in x-axis. These graphical representation give us the bundles of good X and X1 and X2, banana and mango. So these bundles, if we join the points, you will get an indifference curve. It means that whatever bundles we have here, those bundles gives the consumer a maximum satisfaction or utility. But all the bundles, if you consider, the utility remains same there. Utility for all these bundles, it remains same. That's why we call it indifference curve. Now I'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here this is the demand curve. I will repeat, this is indifference curve, graphical representation, and this is demand curve. So here demand curve, as I said, in x-axis we will take the price, quantity, and in y-axis we will consider the price of the good. Here the quantity, the product I have taken, I am not considering mango here. Mango will remain same. There is no increase or decrease with the price of mango, but I will only take banana here. For our demand curve, I will take this good banana. The quantity of banana you can say here. Mango will remain same. Now, suppose, as you know, the price of the banana is P. The P1, how you can mention? I will mention it as P1. So, if the price of the banana is P1, the quantity it is X1. You will mention it as X1, correct? This is the quantity of banana. If the price of the banana is P1, then we will go with this quantity. This is the quantity. Okay? And this is banana, the same quantity. In this indifference curve, I will draw the curve here. Here we have banana, quantity of banana, that as I have considered x1, this indifference curve is for this quantity of banana. The quantity of banana here again it is x1. If this is x1, then the mango in the bundle we have two goods, banana and mango. This is the quantity of banana, then this will be the quantity of mango. Here we will get the bundle. I can say this is the here, right? If this is x1, here we have bundle where this is x2. X2 means quantity of mango, x1 is quantity of banana. So this x1, x2, it is the bundle we have. I will call it as C there. This is bundle as you know. I will call it as C, and this is the bundle which contains x1 good of banana and x2 good of mango, and this bundle comes from this indifference curve. Now, as I said, the income will remain same and the price of the mango will remain same. Only we are changing the price of the banana here. So if in demand curve, if this is the price of the banana, then the consumer will go with this quantity. Now I will reduce the price of the banana from P1 to I'll reduce the price of the banana. This is now our new price. Correct? So when there is a reduction in the price of the banana, then consumer obviously he will go for extra quantity of bananas. Now from quantity at this price, the banana quantity is this one. He was buying this quantity. When there is a reduction in the price, he will buy more quantity of banana. That I mentioned it as new quantity here. So here in demand curve, we understood that when there is a decrease in the price, he go for more number of banana quantity. There is a increase in the quantity of banana. So here the mango will remain same, keeping his income if he is selecting this bundle. Here the mango will remain same, but there is a from X1 there is a new quantity here now. With the same income, he is before he was getting X1 quantity. Now the quantity of banana is changed here because there is a drop in the price of the banana. So this is now new quantity. So it means that here he will get this quantity of banana and the mango quantity will remain same. So this is new quantity. It means that what this is bundle, right? This bundle I will mention it as D. If we join the bundles, we will get one more new curve, that is IC curve. But if we compare these two IC curve, this we call it as higher indifference curve, where his satisfaction level is greater. That we also understood when we were discussing the features of indifference curve. This is one of the features. When there is an increase in the indifference curve, it means when we have a higher indifference curve, then there will be a greater satisfaction level. The utility increases. When the indifference curve is higher, the utility increases. This is new bundle where the same mango he is getting more bananas. Now, if this price of the banana still reduces, this is the new price, then he will get few more extra bananas. Correct? Now this is new quantity. Again, this is second quantity. In this new bundle now, the mangoes quantity remains same, but with a new quantity of banana because the price of the banana still reduced. Now this is the quantity he will get. Okay? With this income, the bundle includes X1, X2. If the price of the banana decreases, the mangoes quantity will remain same, but the new banana quantity will come in this bundle. If the price further reduces, we will get new quantity of banana and mango will remain same. So what is the new quantity here? Third one, that is here. This is new quantity of banana because there is a further reduction in the price of the banana. So here the new bundle is here. You will get a curve like this. This is new IC curve we received. And one of the feature of indifference curve, when the indifference curve is higher, the greater is the utility level. Because I'll call it as E bundle. If you see in the C bundle, he is getting X1 bananas and X2 mangoes with the same income what he has. In this I see here is the new bundle with the same income. He is getting the quantity of mango remains same, but if we check the quantity of banana, there is an increase in the quantity of banana. That is why here he will go with this bundle, which gives him greater satisfaction because this bundle is on higher indifference curve. If we go further, when there is a reduction in the price, he will get more bananas compared to D and C bundle. So that is why here consumer will select this E bundle because it gives him more satisfaction and this is on higher indifference curve. So what we need to understand here is when there is a reduction in the price, the quantity increases. So that is what the demand curve says. When there is a decrease in the price of the good, the quantity of the good will increase. So that is why we call it as there is a negative relationship between price and quantity of the good. That is a law of demand. So with the help of this indifference curve, now we understood that the law of the demand. The law of the demand says if the price decreases, the quantity increases. If price increases, quantity decreases. There is a negative relationship between quantity and price. Now we have the points here. When the price is higher, quantity is less. When price is lower, quantity is more. When price is further less, the quantity is highest. So if we join the points here, we will get this curve, which we call it as demand curve. Price and quantity, that's why it is the relationship between price and quantity. How this curve behaves based on the price of the good. So if you see this curve, in demand curve, it is always negatively slope. It is downward slope, it is negatively slope. That is why there is a negative relationship between price and quantity. I'll mention that here. So with the example banana and mango, I can say the demand curve for banana is negatively slope. So here we can say the demand curve for banana is thus negatively slope because of the price change. If price increases, the demand is less. Price increases, demand is more. That's why it is negatively slope here. Now, this negative slope of the demand curve can also be explained in terms of two effects. We can explain this in of this negative slope using two effects. What are those two effects I mentioned here? So when we observe these graphical representation, as we know, the demand curve is negatively sloped, and we can find out two effects here. What are those two effects? I will mention it here. One, substitution effect, and second one is income effect. When we see the negative slope, we can say that there are two effects. One is substitution effect and second one is income effect. What do you mean by substitution effect? As I said, when there is a decrease in the price, the quantity of the good increases, demand for banana increases. Correct? It means that here, when the mango's price remains same, the X2, the mango's price, it remains same. There is a change in the banana price. Correct? When there is a change in the banana price is reducing, then what the consumer will do? He will substitute bananas for mangoes. Correct? He will buy more of the bananas. He is substituting bananas for mangoes. The mango's price is higher, and even banana price was high. But when the banana price started reducing, what consumer will do? He will substitute bananas from X1 to this new quantity, this to this new quantity. He will substitute banana for mangoes. That is why there is a substitution effect. When there is a reduction in the price, there is a substitution effect. Correct? He is substituting from this quantity to this quantity and from here to here. That is why we can call it as the negative slope. There is a substitution effect. Here the consumer he is substituting bananas for mangoes because of the price change. That one effect we call it a substitution effect. And second effect is income effect. When there is a reduction in the price, what happens? The purchasing power of the consumer increases. When there is a price reduction, the purchasing power of the consumer increases. So when he has a more purchasing power, he will either go for more bananas or mangoes. As banana price is less, he will again go with few more extra quantity of bananas. That's why the demand for banana will increase. When he has a more purchasing power because of the reduction in the price, he can buy more quantities, and as we know the banana price is less, he will go with banana to add some more quantity of banana. That is why the demand for banana increases. So that is what we call it as income effect. When there is a price reduction, his purchasing power increases. That is the income effect because of this negative nature of the demand curve. So we can mention that in this way. There are two effects. One is substitution effect and second one is income effect. So I'll write it here. When bananas become cheaper, it means the reduction in the price. The consumer maximizes his utility by substituting bananas for mangoes. So substitution effect says that when bananas becomes cheaper, as we know, there is a reduction in the price. When bananas become cheaper, the consumer maximizes his utility. Here, from this bundle to this bundle, he will maximizes his utility. What these curves tell us his satisfaction level. From here, he will try to maximize his utility and he will go to the higher difference curve. Consumer maximizes his utility by substituting banana for mango. What he have done, he is substituting bananas for mangoes from here to here. Now he will go with this bundle where he has this new quantity of banana and say mangoes. So here he is getting more maximum utility by substituting bananas for mangoes. From here to here, he is increasing the quantity of banana because of the reduction in the price of banana. Because the banana became cheaper. When he is doing this, substituting bananas, we call it as substitution effect. Because of this negative slope of the demand curve. Then what do you mean by income effect? When there is a reduction in the price, he has that power to purchase more goods. Correct? When the price reduces of any particular good, his purchasing capacity increases. He can buy more and more goods. That we call it as income effect. As the price of the banana drops, consumers' purchasing power is when further reduces from this quantity to this quantity, he is buying more because with the drop of the price, his purchasing capacity increased here, purchasing power increased. So that we call it as income effect. So these two effects we can see here. One is substitution effect and second one is income effect. When there is a price drop of banana, he will substitute this banana and he will go for more bananas for mangoes. He will keep mangoes same, and as there is a price reduction, he will substitute more and more bananas here. That is substitution effect. And income effect is when there is a price reduction, his purchasing power increases. So when his purchasing power increases, he will buy more and more quantity of bananas. So that is what we call as income effect. So these two effects we can see when there is a negative slope of demand curve. We can see these two effects. So when we know this, I can mention the law here. We have discussed demand function. Now, demand curve. And now we are understanding law of demand. Demand curve, law of demand. So we have discussed demand curve. It is negatively sloped. And what is the law of demand says? Now we will understand that. Law of demand, it says it states that the other things being equal, there is a negative relationship between demand for a commodity and its price. So, what is this law of demand says? It states that the other things being equal, as I said, the income and price of the mango, taste and preferences. Other things here, it means other things means we have two goods, right? Banana and mango. So other good and his income, his taste and preferences, all those other things being equal, if only one good if you have considered, there is a negative relationship between demand for a commodity, this commodity, there is a negative relationship between demand for this commodity and its price. So, income of consumer bundle which contains two goods, banana and mango, and his taste and preferences. Keeping his income, taste and preferences, and the price and all other respective things, quantity and other aspects of mango, all these things keeping it equal. If we take only this product, there is a negative relationship between the demand for this product and its price. If price increases, demand increases. If price decreases, demand increases. There is a negative, if increases, if decreases, there is a negative relationship between demand for this product banana and its price. So this we call it as law of demand. We can say it is a negative relationship between the demand for a commodity and its price. The demand for the commodity banana and its price. If there is an increase in the price, the demand is less. If the price is decreased, the demand is more. That is what we call it as negative relationship between price and demand. This we call it as law of demand. So now we understood what it means by demand. The demand function f of x is equal to y and demand curve and the law of demand. Now there is one more small topic called linear demand. What do you mean by that? We will check that the linear demand of the good. So when we were discussing this demand function, I mentioned that f of x is equal to y and we have given the values of x and y. So if this is 0, I have taken y value 10. If it is 1, this is 15. If it is 2, it is 18. And if it is 3, it is 20, like that. So how I arrive to this number? When there is a 0, how I arrive to this number? That gives us here the values. We can find out what is the demand. As I said, this is price and this is quantity. So when this is the price, what is the demand here? How much demand for that particular product? Suppose banana. If we mention the banana price X, then demand for banana is Y. If the price of the banana is X, then what is the demand for banana? That is Y here. Correct? That is function of demand. Now, if the banana price is X, then what is the demand? That is Y. Then, but how to find out this demand? Correct? We have that question. That we try to find out here. There is the equation. And for, as I said, in economics, we will go with assumptions. Then only we can arrive to some conclusion. So in demand, linear demand, we can write this as demand is equal to A minus BP. So what do you mean by all these things I mentioned? A is demand at price 0. When the price is 0, what is the demand for that particular product? We will call it as A. Now, suppose if the banana price is 0, what is the demand for this banana? Suppose we can say 100. This 100 at the 0 price of the banana, this, as I said, we are assuming here. These are all assumptions. If the price is 0, then what is the demand for this product? That we call it as A. We need to take it here. Then B is, it is the slope of demand curve. The B is slope of demand curve, and we know the demand curve, it is always negatively sloped. That is why we have taken minus here. Why minus sign here? Because the demand curve, as we know, the B is slope of the demand curve. The slope is negative. It is negative in slope. That's why we have taken minus B. So we can say the B is the what is slope of the demand curve. What it will do? It will measure the rate. What is its work? The slope of demand curve. What the slope does? It does this. Measures the rate of the. It measures the rate at which demand changes with respect to its price. Now P is price, and there is one more condition here. P should be greater than 0 and should be smaller than or equal to A by B. This is one condition. The price whatever we take, it should be greater than or equal to 0. It should not go in negative, and it should be always less or equal to A by B. And what do you mean? What do you mean by A? It is demand of that particular commodity when price is 0, and this is the slope of the demand curve. As I said, what this B does here, it measures the rate, at what rate the demand changes. Okay, what is the rate the demand is changing with respect to price? The change in the, we can say the B is change the rate at which the demand changes, and C is price here. So if we fill the data in this equation, we will get the demand for that particular product. So the linear demand curve looks like this: X, Y. Guys, it is even though this small topic is very important and interesting topic, so that's why understand. A is, we are assuming the demand of that particular product when the price is 0. Okay, and the B is the rate at which the demand is changing. B is the slope of the demand curve. This slope the demand is equal to A minus B. This is demand curve, and at any point, what this linear demand says, at any point, what is the demand for that particular product? We can find out on this linear demand curve. On this linear demand curve, at any point, we can say that what is the demand for that particular product with the help of this equation. Now, how? I'll take an example here. So now we know the equation and we know what you mean by A. A is demand at price P. So the product also I'll take any product. What I can consider here is, what is the product we can go with? I'll go with product. I'm not getting the good product. I can so that I can use that example. Otherwise, okay. We'll take instead of thinking too much on the product in selecting the product, I will take the same product which is very familiar to us, banana. So here at price 0, what is the demand for banana? That, for example, I can say 100. This is assumption. This is, as I said, demand at price 0. If the banana price is 0, what is the demand? That is 100. Okay. So now, and what is the rate? This demand curve. It is to measure the rate of the demand change in the demand. Here, I will consider the rate in which the demand is changing. The rate I will take it as 2. Okay. Now, price of the banana, if at this price the demand is 100, but if the price of the banana is 10 rupees 10, then what is the demand here? Now we will put all these data here and try to find out the demand for banana when price is 10. Okay. Now A is the demand at price 0, it is 100, and B is the slope of the demand curve. What is the rate in which the demand change? The rate we have taken here is 2, and the price of the banana is 10 here. So 100 minus 10 into 2, that is 20. So 80 is the demand for this product for banana. What is the demand? It is 80 when the price is 10. Correct? So this is the we need to understand. Demand for banana at price 10 is 80 because of this help of this equation we found out that the demand for banana is 80 when the price is 10. This is how we can calculate the demand with the help of the price and A and B values. Now we mentioned this conditioning. P should be greater than or equal to 0. So what is the price here? The P value here is 10 here consider, right? Okay. Is that true? Is this greater than or equal to 0? That's correct. It is greater than or equal to 0. Here it is greater than 0. This condition is fine. Now what is one more condition? It should be lesser than or equal to A by B. What is A here? A is the demand at price 0, that is 100, and the B value we have considered it as 2. So 200 to 50. So here it is greater than 0 and smaller than A by B, that is 50. So the price is lesser than A by B and greater than 0. So this is, we can go with this price. So when all these things are considered and if you put the values here, this is the, we will get the demand for that particular product. When then what is the price? The price is given, then what is the demand? We can find out in this way. So this we call it a linear demand function, and it behaves in this way. And if we graphically represent that we call it a linear demand curve. The curve says it's a line in here where the equation says that this is the demand at particular price of that commodity. So this point is A by B and this point is A. This line is the linear demand curve, and we know the equation, the quantity demanded is equal to A minus B. B is the slope of the demand curve where it measures the rate of the demand changes. Correct? So this is all about linear demand. So this is about linear demand, and we know demand and demand function, demand curve, and law of demand. And at last we are discuss linear demand curve. So this is about linear demand. So I'll stop here. And the next class we have normal and inferior goods. What do you mean by normal good? What do you mean by inferior good? That we will discuss in the next class. Thank you. Have a good time.